All right, families, so here's a peek. Here's a couple of things you can see. We've divided up the classes and they're rotating in the different areas of the playground. So if you have a third grader in Mrs. Peacock's class, they're in a different area than Miss Tanner's class. And then we're rotating them around the different areas of the playground. You can see we've got all the things that they could possibly want to play with. And then, of course, the new playground structure is amazing. The shade is wonderful, and the swings are a dream. So if you didn't hear, thank you, PTO, for encouraging us to go that route with the swings. All right, so I'm walking on campus, and you'll see a lot of these hand sanitizer pumps around campus. And so students, when they come back from recess, they use them. They're automatic. You see them when you drop off your kiddos in the morning, so that's not too new. So we did a lot of stickers to start our students back, and I'll stop so I'm not clicking. They're 6 feet apart. They've just helped train everyone to just kind of remember what 6 feet looks like, social distancing. This is our staff board. We went with the Friends theme, and it'll be up all year, so I have every faith that you'll be able to see that one in person at some point. We did a This Way to Learning, and the EK Center is actually being used quite a bit for some small group instruction. And so you keep walking down the hall, and what you see are some desks throughout. And so, for instance, this is Miss Wilder's, and what this helps is if a student has intervention or needs to meet with Mrs. Diol or another teacher, they can come out here with their Chromebook and get that work done. So each of the teachers has their own desk outside their classroom. So Mrs. Wilder's class is obviously out at recess. So you can see that the partitions have helped keep a community feel because the students are able to be right next to each other. And yet, just another way to keep everyone healthy and safe as they return to school. So that's Mrs. Wilder's classroom, and you can see that Mrs. Segovia does not have students this week yet. She's actually doing live instruction, so I will talk quietly, but you can see they're ready to go, and they've got the same kind of configuration. Each of the classrooms actually could choose how they wanted to configure student desks and tables, and most of them configured it that way. We do have some portable water stations, hand washing stations on this wing, because I'm not sure if you realize, but we don't have sinks in the 4th and 5th grade. We have sinks in all the other classrooms, so we put another hand washing station out here for students who prefer that. Miss Magera is also starting to create her dividers, and Miss Lisa's in there helping out with her engagement aid. So she's doing live instruction. All the students are still home, but she'll have a similar setup. As I was joking around, we bought out the PVC and clear shower curtains around town. So you can see our paws are everywhere. Couple of the really cool bulletin boards we've done. Meet the person responsible for your, and then all these little things.
Hi Sophie, how are you?
So it's quiet in the hallways because all the students are out. So Mrs. Morrison's class has a similar setup, and you can see, and she's got her students. Hi, Mrs. Morrison. So similar setup, a lot of plastic shower curtains around this campus, and PVC. So it's working. It's working. The students have done great on it. We have found that, Mrs. Morrison, have you written on the shower curtains yet?
I have not.
We think you can write on these.
Grade has.
You can put messages on them.
I'm thinking of maybe some tic-tac-toe games.
That's right, with your partner through the plastic. So we're trying to kind of make it fun.
Cute, though. They hold their books up for each other when they're like identifying text evidence. They'll say, "Oh, look, you can see right here," and that's fun to watch.
I like it. It's working out. And it's keeping our community feel around here. So that's a good thing. So if we keep walking, we have Miss Hudson and Miss Arellano's class is right here, and I'll pop in. And she's got students in there, so I don't want to disturb them. Just wait.
Here you go.
So social distancing in that classroom. And Mrs. Hines is still on distance learning. So her students will be back in a couple of weeks. So you got to see Mrs. Peacock's class quite a bit. Mrs. Peacock and her husband Tyler actually made the prototypes for all of these dividers. So just another setting of how that worked out. And then Miss Tanner has won the award for the most creative with the vines on the top of the PVC. So if you don't think you can bring fashion to PVC, you can. So we're having a lot of fun decorating our PVC. And then one thing that Adrian and Tino have been installing this week are kicks. So students can actually use their feet to open doors, so less handles. Just another way we're trying to keep hands off of all the surfaces. We're doing what we can. So again, lots of hand pumps, lots of garbages. And then the second grade is making their dividers right now. And as you can see, they're shorter. So one of the benefits of starting back to campus later is you get to see all the prototypes, and then you get to configure how you want. So Mrs. Murray is teaching in the second grade class, and that's how it looks. And then Mrs. Cole's coming out of Mrs. Rose's class, who's also in final production of these dividers. And she's teaching, so all those students at home, I don't want to disturb. It's going to start to get a little loud because we're doing some cleaning in the hallways, but I think that's Mrs. Peacock in front of me. So some of the desks we actually had ordered, and they're pretty fancy for that same configuration of having student desks out here for individual work periods. So first grade, they opted not to do the dividers right now, so they're just socially distanced. And there's Mrs. Bushner doing her thing, and some students were still a little distracted over here, but they're doing great. And then Mrs. Norton's class, again, they opted not to do the dividers right now, and just students are socially distanced in the classroom, and they're doing great. As you can see, it's working out pretty well. So as we head out, again, a lot of these things, they're all over campus. So in kindergarten, you got some nice visuals of kindergarten yesterday, but this is Mrs. Manley, the new Mrs. Manley's class. And I wanted to show you something. If you can see, Mrs. Manley has a face shield on with her mask, and we've really been cognizant that we know our kindergartners and our first graders, there's times they need to see our faces. So there's a lot of face shields going on during different instruction in that class, in these classrooms. So that's a great thing, and she's doing a great job. And then Miss Rocio is that engagement aide that you've probably met. If you have a kindergartner, you've seen her in the classrooms. So again, here's Mrs. Sanchez's class, and you can see she's got a shield on too. And then she's got the video set up. So some of our students in kindergarten who've still opted to do distance learning are getting to see the same classroom instruction. And then Miss Megan is in there making sure they're staying with the class. Those little seat wobble things are pretty terrific. We've tested them out. And then the desks, the lap desks, they're whiteboards. I don't know if you can see that, but they're actually whiteboards. And so the students are able to practice their letters with those whiteboards that are desks. So pretty great configuration on that too. So as you, the other thing I want to point out is you can see our paws are headed one direction. So we are really, we don't do a whole lot of crossing each other in the hallways anymore. And we joke around on staff that we are getting our steps in. So that is campus. I'm pretty pleased to say that we are working towards flag salute, and our 5th graders will be in charge of that again. And for now, Mr. Adrian is doing that every day for us, and we're so grateful. I'm sure you wondered what all the construction still going on is. We are getting solar, and probably within the next couple of weeks we'll be fully operational with solar, just in time for winter. But so excited for that, and very grateful to the EK LLC, our landlords, who put that on for TRCS. It's going to be a huge savings over the course of the next few years. We've had about 30% solar capacity that we got from a grant. We had about 30% of our panels, and now we're going to be at 100%. So Chico Electric's done a great job, and they've kept their crew very contained away from students for the last couple of weeks, so we've been grateful for them. So that is your tour. We can't wait to have our parents and volunteers back on campus. We certainly have missed all of you, but things are good. And next week, as middle school starts preparing for students to be back, I'll do a little tour of the middle school. They'll be doing some different things. In anticipation, teachers will actually be rotating and students will be staying in one classroom. So it'll be kind of a reverse situation. All right, Tigers, have a great day and stay healthy.